とかつかめたか？
わかんない。
Alright, here's the skivvy, my friends. This episode of Goblin Slayer kind of sucked, but here's the thing. It was just mostly boring. So when I say the episode sucked, contextually what that means is compared to the past 2 episodes, I think, because this is episode number 3, compared to the last 2 episodes, I think this one really sucked. Now, in the grand scheme of things, right, this is what I always say is, like, overall, my sentiment towards Goblin Slayer Season 2 hasn't changed. My view on it hasn't changed, and I still think it's a banger anime. I think it's like an 8.5 out of 10. Like, it's an awesome anime. And this kind of episode here it was boring, and it kind of sucked in comparison. But what it did specifically, okay, is it humanized 𝐒𝐻𝐵𝐿. So it humanized Goblin Slayer a little bit. It put him out there on display to, you know, basically show us that he can, in fact, socialize. He can, you know, be a drinking buddy. He can go out there and he can reveal his dreams. So the episode did very well to humanize our Goblin Slayer. I'm not denying that at all. It puts me a little sleepy the whole time doing that, but the reality is it did humanize our character a little bit more. On the flip side, the things that made it boring or less interesting wasn't really the humanization of him and the time he spent, you know, kind of shooting the shit with the other 2 dudes. It was really all the time we're spending with this alternate character, this redhead wizard kid that they've tried and inserted into the show, which, to be frank, I don't care about. Like, I don't care about him. I don't care about his sister. I don't care about his motivations. I truly don't care about this character. Now, I do understand he's written as a catalyst to show our Goblin Slayer, you know, like to have him go through him, and he's supposed to hate him, but he's going to come around eventually and realize what his true aspirations and goals and things. I understand what he's being used for. Doesn't mean I have to like it, right? And he's also being used in conjunction with our priestess girl, too, you know, because she has to go and adventure herself and all this other stuff. Now, here's the main skivvy divvy, okay, is in the grand scheme of 12 episodes, right? So in the grand scheme of, I think this one's 12 episodes. Well, we don't know how many episodes this is yet. We don't have it listed. They don't have it listed anywhere. But let's just say Goblin Slayer Season 2 is 12 and a half, 13 episodes, maybe even 11. In the grand scheme of the season, this episode's a good episode as a pivot point to the next episode. The things that I've always said traditionally and historically here on the channel is not that I have problems with these contextualized episodes that provide more info on a character, provide more info on the world, provide more info on plot, provide more info. I don't have problems with the boring episodes when we are watching all 12 or all 13 at once, right? If we're binge watching, as we do, right? Like, as you will do, right? Like, think about when the season ends and you weren't able to watch Faraway Paladin or MF Ghost or pick any anime from this season. You weren't able to watch it, and then now next season or next year or 2 years from now, you finally have time to watch some Goblin Slayer or whatever show. You're gonna binge it all at once, right? And maybe you don't binge it all at once. Maybe you do half the episode on a Saturday night, the other half on the Sunday night or Friday night or Tuesday afternoon, wherever the freak you want to. But you're probably gonna watch a good chunk of it in either 50-50, 30-30-30. You're going to watch a pretty good chunk with it for the most part, usually. I understand someone's going to be out there like, I only watch one at a time, and then I go and play my Nintendo. Sure, that's fine too. But for the most part, most people are going to binge watch, okay? And I think when we watch it like that, these types of episodes, completely fine, because you get to move on to the next one instantly. But when you watch this episode or an episode like this and you have to wait a whole week, you're like, oh, this really sucks. And that's where I'm like, this episode sucked. That's where that sentiment comes from, as like, I want more. I want that gratification right now, Now I have to wait another week and then I have to come shit on the parade today because I review episodes one at a time. I don't review the whole series as a whole. I do one episode on how it stands by itself. So again, this episode though humanized Orkbog a little more. It humanized our character a little more. It humanized his relationship that he has with the cowgirl, farm girl, right? It showed us from her point of view too on how she's this support system for him. She puts on a brave front for him, even though sometimes she's breaking down herself. And I thought that was a really emotional and powerful moment in this show too, of she's putting on this brave front for him, but then the moment he disappears, she kind of breaks down herself because she's holding on to all this animosity and feelings of things that happened in the past too, you know. And then the rest of it is it kind of showed how the Adventure Guild works in training and bringing up new adventurers and older adventurers who are more tenured, coming in and kind of showing them the ropes and going out to go get rats and going out to go get goblins and all this. It showed how the world works, and I do appreciate that. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate that. It's just when you tick for tack episode, it's like, well, this kind of sucked a little bit. Again, make very clear, love Goblin Slayer, 8.5 out of 10. One of my favorite shows. Awesome. Doesn't mean this episode was, just means overall awesome. But yeah, so anyway, that's how I felt about this episode. You know, I definitely appreciate the humanization of characters. I definitely appreciate the deeper dive into characters that's going, even though one of those deeper dives is into this redhead kid, which I like. If he suddenly got his head chopped off next episode, I'd be like, oh, that happened. And I wouldn't care very much because I have no attachment to him, nor do I care about him or his dumbass sister. Sorry. But anyway, those are my feelings. You know, guys, I throw it down. I throw it down raw. Well, I have 2 kids. So. All right, my friends, I'm leaving you guys with those thoughts there. I'll see you guys. I'll see you mother suckers next week. All right, boys and girls. Peace out.